And I remember thinking to myself, if I'm 60 years old and I don't pull the trigger now, I'm gonna regret it. It's gonna be that move in my life where I said, I knew that was gonna be a special spot and I didn't get in when I knew I should have. I've got a place down here I can come and use anytime I want. That's also providing income for me. And I owe it all to you and Dustin, man. I met you guys and cannot thank you enough for making this part of my life.
And we have a crazy giveaway in this video. So Billy has graciously agreed to set his Airbnb villa up for 1 week. We're talking a full week in Belize. And me and the Remax team are gonna cover you and 3 of your friends' flights. So 4 people total to come down for a week vacation here. Now, all you have to do, guys, comment on this post, subscribe to the channel, and in the description, you have a link to Billy's Airbnb. Share that on your Instagram or Facebook and you are eligible. And in about 1 month, I'd say 30 days, we're gonna pick the winner of this. Billy?
Cheers. Good luck,
Let's
everybody.
make Billy's dreams come true.
Let's do it.
What is going on, everyone? It is Will Mitchell here, and today I'm sitting with a VIP guest on the show. We got Billy, literally the mayor of Mahogany Bay, guys. Billy, thank you for jumping on with me.
If I'm the mayor, that town's in trouble.
That's actually true. Billy he's a legend, but he can get into trouble too. But Billy, really appreciate it, man. And I'm gonna say, before we jump into this interview about why Billy has invested in Belize, why his family is down here, let's start from the top, Billy. What was it about Belize that attracted you to come down here with your family and invest?
Well, originally it was even before I had my family. I came down here about—
That's true, right? Yeah. You were here alone.
13 years ago, I came down here for the first time, and there was something about Belize that just immediately made me feel like I was home. And the people were wonderful. I mean, if you could see what's behind this camera right now, the answer's there.
We'd be bragging if we showed them.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So it's just, I immediately felt drawn to Belize, and I came here a multitudes through the year. But where it ratcheted up a step for me is when we had kids. My wife and I got married, and we had kids, and I just wanted them to be a part of this. I wanted them to grow up coming here, and stuff. And it came down to, we're in America. It's a bubble, and it's a different way of living. And I wanted them to experience something different. Where we live, everybody's, politically motivated. They're on one side of the fence, and you can't even be friends with people on the other side of the fence. Oh, yeah. It's gotten really weird, and stuff. So every time I come to Belize, nobody's arguing, nobody's fighting. They're just enjoying the beauty and being kind to each other. And it just drew me into this, this country. And I just want to be a part of it. And I wanted my kids to grow up, being a part of it.
Let's talk about the political aspect of that, because in the US right now, regardless of which side you fall on, there's so much polarization. And I don't even know where you are on the political spectrum, but how do you find Belize from a political standpoint? Do you have to deal with that down here, or what's the vibe?
It's gotten really weird in the U.S. It's like it's just gotten so divided. The country is divided. Used to be that we could have differences and still be friends and still be kind to each other, and that just doesn't seem to be how America's going. I love America. I'm a patriot, but it really breaks my heart that the country's kind of going that way. And I come down here and I don't see any of that. Nobody even cares. I don't know. I don't know who anybody's political beliefs down here. So I came down here and I just felt immediate connection, love. It's a funny thing, like at home I'm always scrolling through Instagram and getting mad at how everybody's fighting in the comment sections. I come down here, I don't even know where my phone is right now. I haven't seen it in probably 2 days. It just doesn't matter. And you come down here and it's the people of Belize. That's where it comes from. The people of Belize have there's a kindness and a warmth that just doesn't exist anywhere else. And I wanted my kids to experience that. That's why I invested here. I wanted to give my kids something outside of the bubble of where we live, So, and that place is this for us.
I love that, man. And you've been down here, I don't even know, dozens of times at this point?
Over 30, 40 times, yeah. It's usually 3 or 4 times a year now with the family.
For sure. What are some of your favorite things about the island?
You know, it depends on the trip. You know, I have guys trips that I come down here. My wife comes down here on bachelorette parties, and then we come down here with the family, and it's a very different trip depending on, you know, what we're doing. And there's something of all that in this country. So it's like, you know, we love hitting the different, you know, bars. Today my 3-year-old said, "Dad, can I swim with the sharks?" We went out to Shark Ray Alley, and I've got a 3-year-old, you know, swimming with nurse sharks and stuff, and you know, seeing stingrays. So there's just so much. The marine life out here is beautiful. My wife and I both scuba certified, so we come down here and scuba dive together, and you know, just get to experience all kinds of different things down here. That's one of the things that I think originally I came down here as a single guy, and you know, got to see that side of the island. It was fun. It was great. But coming down here as a dad now with my family, there's so much more that this country has to offer. There's you know, so much for families and young families. My 3-year-old twins, they were excited for a month before this trip, saying, "Dad, I can't wait to go to Belize," and they love it down here. It's their second home.
How many kids do you have? What's kind of the breakdown of the family?
Yeah, so we've got twins are going to turn 4 next month, Ty and Frankie, and then we've got a 9-month-old baby, Rory, who's here with us as well. So,
and I got my 7.5-month.
That's right. So. Our kids are going to grow up together. That's one of the beautiful things here. Cheers to that.
Love you, brother. But what were the initial motivations to come down here? It was pre-family, right?
Yeah, it started just with a love of the island, a love of the people, a love of the culture down here. And then I saw an investment opportunity.
Okay,
you know.
So let's talk about the investment, because I know that was a big motivator for you.
It became one. You know, it didn't start there. I think all great investments start with love, and then you figure out the investment part of it later, you know, and stuff. And it was great. I remember the first time I was down here, there was like 1 pier bar, and then the second time I came down here, a few months later, there were 2, and then there were 4, and I was like, oh, there's something happening down here. And I remember thinking to myself, if I'm 60 years old and I don't pull the trigger now, I'm gonna regret it. It's gonna be that move in my life where I said, I knew that was gonna be a special spot, and I didn't get in when I knew I should have. So I'm down here 4 years ago. I think there's still tremendous opportunity. I think it's still just the tip of the iceberg. You know, I'm so glad we pulled the trigger, and it was a risk. I mean, we were a little nervous to do this at first, but my wife believed in me. She knew how much I love the island, and she's like, just do it. Like, you do it or you're gonna regret it for the rest of your life. And so now we have one place down here, and Will's already talking me into another place, possibly in the near future here. And I want to be a part of this. I want to come down here. And one of the interesting things, though, as an investment, I believe this country's given me so much and my family so much. And one of the things that is important to me now is like not thinking of this as just an investment, but thinking of it as like, how do I give back more to this country than it's given to me? So, and I've got decades to figure that out. I'm going to be coming down for a long time. So, but it's important. The people should come up. The people of Belize deserve to come up with Belize as a country as the tourism's come up, and that's really important to me, and something it's a mission of mine now coming down here.
You've made a massive impact already. I know you're going to take that to a whole new level.
It's important to me. It's not by accident. It's important to me to give back the way that the country's given to me, and not just be somebody that gets an investment here. You know, it's like, how do we make this place special and keep it special? And that's the challenge with growth. How do you keep the culture? How do you keep everything special? And how do you treat the people that have treated you so well, well back? So it's really important to me, and it's something I think about a lot, and stuff. And as I grow, we want to keep growing our investments down here. And I hope, as this old dad goes out to pasture, decades from now,
you're a young buck.
I don't know about that, but
I've seen you on a Saturday night.
Well, sometimes I can act young, but there's this really cute story. There's this kid named Zane that hangs out over, a Belizean kid that hangs out over by Estelle's, and we have pictures of him when my twins were 6 months old holding them, then when they were 2 years old holding them, and we're gonna get one this trip where they're holding them when they're 4, and it's gonna be half his size now. So it's like they get to know the locals, and it's just a beautiful experience, and I'm just happy to be a part of it and feel blessed too.
Watching your kids at Shark Ray Alley today, it gave me a flashback to being their age and being at Shark Ray Alley.
Right, you grew up like that, yeah.
I mean, this is like, we're sitting, a few feet away from where I used to camp out with my old man. So knowing that you and Ty and Frank, you're gonna have that bond, and Rory, that's very special to me.
Yeah.
But Billy, let's talk a little bit about what you built out here and where you built.
Yeah, so we chose Mahogany Bay. I was looking at all kinds of different places. Through the years, that was the benefit of coming down here so much through the years, is I got to kind of know the island a little bit. And Mahogany Bay just seemed like the logical place. I love that, you know, you could actually own the land and build. I wanted to try that. I'd never built a home before, so we bought the land, built it. It was a dream process. There's things we learned through the process, and as we build our second one, we're gonna know some of the things we might do a little different. But I love Mahogany. I love the fact that every house could have a boat slip. It's right on the canal, and we could be out in this. I don't think there's anything like it in the world, and certainly not at this price point. You know, it's you know, it's been an incredible experience for us.
For sure. Hearing stories like Billy's always inspires me, and you might be feeling the same way right now. If you've ever wondered about purchasing in Belize, investing in Belize real estate, looking at Mahogany Bay, or anything Belize related, scan the QR code here and the RE/MAX team can help you get all the info to how you can make that dream a reality. Other than that, we've heard a lot from Billy about the property. We got to get a woman's touch here and hear from Taryn quickly about what they built.
Welcome to our 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It's called a moonraker. I think what I like most about this setup is that it's L-shaped. So on the other side of the kitchen, we have the primary bedroom and bathroom, and then the guest room is over behind this wall, along with another bathroom. So the bedrooms feel spread out. This is a nice open kitchen, living room. And then on my other side over here, we have our sliding glass doors that open up to our deck and our pool. I can watch my husband and kids swimming out there. So it's cozy, but it definitely feels spacious. And then what also makes this house special is that we have a casita. So if you want to bring family, more family, friends, anybody with you, there's space for everyone. I think what makes Mahogany Bay special is that everything you'd want to do in Belize, you can do right here. Like you can set up, you know, tours that pick you up from the dock, you know, right here, right outside your house even. There's restaurants, shops, just anything you'd need is right here. And it just makes your vacation really easy and accessible, especially if you have kids. I mean, we love coming here. We come here a couple times a year, and we hope that you guys can come here and enjoy the property as well.
And now, we've talked about this a lot. Like, we don't want to just give people the sugar coating on this. What are some of the things you would change about your build or your investment? And be open with it, whatever you want to say.
Sure, no, of course. No, I think we learned a lot. You know, it's like, the question I always ask myself is, in an investment, would I do it again? And I, no questions asked, would do this again 100 times over. It's been, you know, from all standpoints, been a great experience. There's things we would have done different. You know, we didn't at the time, we chose a wood build and wood floors. And those are tough in this climate. You know, we get some warping and stuff. So at this point in our home, we're probably gonna take those wood floors out and put some tile down or luxury vinyl plank or something like that. So the decking certainly outside, the sun down here is hot. So, you know, we probably would have built a little bigger at the time, but it's like, it was all a learning experience. We were putting everything in to do this. At that time in our lives, you know, it was a big risk for us. We put all the chips in. As the house was being finished, the furniture went on a credit card. And I called the property manager. I'm like, we got to rent now, or you know, we got to pay this credit card off, you know. And the property management team did a great job, stepped up, and now it's profiting and it's doing a great job. And it's been enough of investment that I want to do more, and I want to have 10 of these, you know, someday, you know. So yeah.
When did you start renting, and how has it done so far?
So we started renting about 3 years ago now, halfway through the year. So we didn't get to see the full prime season. That first year of prime season was just incredible. You know, it's like totally hands off. The property management team in Mahogany Bay, they handle everything. I always say, I don't even know what's going on. I just know at the end of the month, they send a check for whatever the difference is and the profit is. Could not be more turnkey and hands off. And that's been pretty incredible. I mean, you know, for me, I don't have the luxury of a lot of time to spend on these kind of, you know, real estate investments. Guy. Yeah, I've got my day job and
3 kids.
Yeah, and 3 kids. And yeah, I don't have the luxury of like having to deal with, you know, if there were problems and stuff. So thankfully the property management team here, Elliot and his team, have just been incredible. They take care of everything. If something happens at the house, I usually don't even know about it. I've learned to trust him enough to say, here's the limit. You know, if it's over this, let's talk about it. But if it's under this, I trust you to make a good decision. And so I don't, you know, half the time I don't even know what's going on down here. I just know that the checks keep coming at the end of the month. And so it's been a great investment for us, you know, aside from just what it means to me, you know, to be down here. But, you know, one of the coolest things is like to think that I've got a place down here I can come and use anytime I want, that's also providing income for me, and will probably pay itself back in 5 to 6 years totally, you know, the investment, and then it's all profit. I mean, in this, you know, in Belize, in this beautiful country, it's like, right now, yeah, I just, you know, to think that that's even possible, and I owe it all to you and Dustin, man. I met you guys, and cannot thank you enough for, you know, making this part of my life, you know.
What about the characters of the team?
One of the things about the Remax team, it's like I've said this, quite a few times. Normally when I do a real estate transaction, they're very helpful, and then they get that signed contract, they get that commission, and it's like, thanks. Maybe I get a bread basket or something like that, and then we never, talk again.
Is it a good bread basket?
It could be a good, depends on the size of the house. Yeah. But the Remax team, I mean, here we are 3 years later, we're friends. I trust you. If I have a problem, I was talking to you about some questions about paperwork, and you're like, I'll handle it on Monday morning with you and stuff. So it's like, it's a team that doesn't just go for that commission check. You want to make sure this is a good experience for us, because I think your team, you're just good people, so you do that, but I also think that it's like, you realize that if I'm happy, I'm going to tell my friends. They might buy a place down here. Many of my friends are considering it because it's been doing well down here. But also, I've been happy to hop on the phone with anybody that's, having doubts or, concerns, and just say, this is my experience, here are my numbers, and, you make your own decision, but it's been a good experience for us, yeah.
And we have a crazy giveaway in this video. So Billy has graciously agreed to set his Airbnb villa up for 1 week. We're talking a full week in Belize. And me and the Remax team are gonna cover you and 3 of your friends' flights. So 4 people total to come down for a week vacation here. Now, all you have to do, guys, comment on this post, subscribe to the channel, and in the description, you have a link to Billy's Airbnb. Share that on your Instagram or Facebook and you are eligible. And in about 1 month, I'd say 30 days, we're gonna pick the winner of this. Billy?
Cheers. Good luck, everybody.
Let's make Billy's dreams come true.
Let's do it.